Boom!
That was nice. That was like a united countdown. That was
Mm.
nice.
We've been consistently, again, and like just perfectly in sync.
Well, you know, as it
Yeah,
should
because we're
be.
perfect.
All's right in the world. Um, I am going to keep my fingers crossed that my recording thing isn't like possessed again.
It wasn't as bad as you thought it was last
Okay, because
week.
it looked real dramatic on my side.
Well, I would keep an eye on it because clearly you were just on top of it last week.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like you noticed it quick enough that you were able to immediately get it back to where it belonged.
Thank you. Well, I will watch it carefully and also consider saging my laptop.
Or your office.
Or my office. It's a modern day possession. We're going for
There you
the
go.
equipment here. We love it. Love to see it. Oh, yeah. Hi. Welcome back to Oddities, everybody. I'm Cassie.
I'm Kelly.
And welcome back to Strange Town. This is the quality dialogue that you, yes, all of you, have signed up for.
Yep.
And we're
Also,
thrilled.
Merry Christmas, you filthy
Yeah,
animals.
Merry Christmas, bitches. Tomorrow, right? You said this is Christmas Eve. This is coming out?
This is Christmas Eve.
Yeah. Actually, I prefer Christmas Eve more than Christmas.
Yeah, I do too.
I think it's the
There's just something about
anticipation.
Christmas Eve that's just like, I don't know, it feels more magical than like Christmas Day itself.
Yeah, and I think literally
Yeah,
for me, it's the anticipation. We love the chase. What can I say?
we do. And like having kids, there's something about them going to bed, like just so excited about Christmas morning.
I
It's very exciting.
I don't have children, but my parents will be visiting, so I will tuck them into bed, knowing that Santa's coming for them.
Read them the night before Christmas.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and fuck all of this.
I dare you to do that,
You want me
and
to
I want a
rewrite it?
fucking video.
Okay. Well, by the time we get to that, we're all going to be pretty lit because we'll have done our annual holiday spiked hot chocolate Christmas light
Cannot
critique.
wait.
Except for Mom or Corey, whoever's going to be the designated driver.
Whoever's the DD.
Yeah, that's right. Don't worry, kids. We're safe about it. Right. Anyway, per usual, you know the drill. Everything's in the description. Check us out on social media. We do a lot of fun things like giveaways over there. If you don't have social media, email us if you ever want to participate in a giveaway because we will mention it on this. And we'll come up with new rules for you to participate, to be entered into the drawing. We have a merch store. At this point, it's a little late to be ordering somebody a holiday gift from there, but you know what? It's always the season for giving.
Hey, maybe buy your boo thing something for Valentine's Day.
You heard
That's
it.
coming up.
You heard it. Your boo thing. You heard it here first. We also have, of course, of Cuervo, a Patreon. If you would like, extra content every week, bonus episode with us. We have 3 different tiers that you can join at. I think you can also still have the ability to donate whatever amount you want, but if you want to join at a specific tier, each tier comes with its own set of benefits. So, we've got something for everybody. And we also, of course, have ourselves a website, which can, also link you to all of these things. That's odditiesstaystrange.com. And feel free to email us. I think we got ourselves pretty much lined up. I think we could do a listeners episode in the new year.
I'm so excited. And actually, I had a friend send me a personal
Oh my God,
story.
stop. So we have another one? I think we're ready to go.
Yeah, and actually, she then called me to talk about this personal story because
Yes.
it was something that was happening in her house, and something freaky kept happening on the call.
Oh my God, yes. Oh, I'm
So
thrilled.
we will talk about that during the listeners
All
episode.
right, bitches. So see you in the new year with that. But
Yep.
any hoozles, how's my bestie?
I am great.
She's thrilled. She's happy.
Yeah. My parents took my kiddos it was as an anniversary gift for me and my hubby, and we have a child-free weekend, so it's just nice and quiet.
Bliss.
I only have to worry about me, myself, and I guess my husband.
He can worry about himself. He's a grown-ass man.
But I get to sleep and not worry about why it's so quiet in my house.
We love it.
You know, like, because when kids are quiet, you have to wonder, why is it
Yeah,
quiet?
why is it quiet?
No,
What type of disaster is happening?
I just have to enjoy the quiet. Um, so that's really exciting. And Michael surprised me, and he's taking me to a very nice French restaurant tonight
Oh,
to celebrate our 10-year anniversary. So, yay.
Trey
Yes.
Bon. We can't wait to hear what you order and how it goes.
Yeah.
Have you
So,
tried snails before?
no, but I actually would.
They're not bad.
Oh, have you?
I have. I would not eat a whole serving of snails to myself,
Yeah,
but I tried like
fair.
one or two, and I was like, well, I can cross that off my list, you know.
Check.
It was in like a little like butter wine sauce, and I was like, this is tight, you
I
know.
could dig this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As long as you don't like think about it too hard. It's for me, it's one of those things where I really can't think about what it is that I'm about to put
it's
in my
mind over
mouth.
matter.
Yeah, right, exactly. So, um, well, that's all fine and dandy and fun.
Yeah.
I, from my side, had quite the wild week that I'm not going to speak about on this, but it's a lot of positive things. And it has left me very tired because I have much to think about. So that's cool. And because we don't think enough already, kids. And tonight is my husband's company that he works at. It's their holiday party. So we're going to be getting dressed up and we're going to go over there, get some great food, some great drinks. They had really good wine last year, so looking
Yes.
forward to it. Wine. And last year we were also like the only two idiots busting a move after dinner. Fully anticipate that'll be the case again this year because nobody's cool enough to keep up. What can I say? And did we really care that we were embarrassing ourselves? Not particularly.
I think you guys should have gotten an award. Like, the only people to
Spirited.
dancing.
Like
Yeah.
the most spirited couple. Is we weren't just like, we were fucking throwing down, We were like, all right, well, we got to commit to this shit now. And you know what? I felt very underappreciated. And, we're out for fucking revenge this year. So last year they went around to table and they did like a family feud type of thing and it was like a holiday themed. We fucking sucked. This is our time. We play to win and we don't play at all. So we're there to
There
fucking
you go.
rock some corporate asses and, take the fucking cake. I don't know what the prize was last year. I think it was gift cards. I think people got gift cards. I want one of those.
Oh, hell yeah.
We deserve one of those. We should have gotten one for busting moves. So anyway,
Yes.
we're going to earn
Being most
ourselves.
spirited.
That's right. So we're going to earn ourselves some shit after we've had some great food and some great drinks. And then we're going to come home and snugs all the little babies and probably play Hogwarts. So
I love that. I was about to say, and play Hogwarts.
if you try and tell me that's not the best night, I mean, I'm also in the midst of planning our December date. I'm in charge of it this time, and I want to make it holiday themed. So I have a few things bouncing in my noggin.
I think
And
you guys should go ice skating.
I was thinking about that. I also was thinking of doing a gingerbread house competition. I was also thinking about running around and setting a time limit, and we have to put together, you know how they did boo boxes back in like October? But we do a Christmas one, and it's all of our stocking stuffers. I have many things.
Oh.
We also have a snow tubing place near us, but they're booked up for that night. So I think we're gonna go snow tubing Christmas or New Year's Eve,
Oh, that would be fun.
which could be a blast.
That would be like a great thing to do.
Either that or we're gonna go watch the pickle drop like one town over. That's right, they drop a big pickle at midnight because it's
I forgot they did that.
yeah, and another town near us drops a wrench, and then another town near us drops a big kiss.
When we lived in Idaho,
The potato.
Boise, it was a potato.
The potato drop.
It was a real potato.
Oh, it was real. I don't think the pickle's real.
It was a real giant potato.
just
I don't want to know what they were injecting that shit with GMO
no,
wise.
absolutely not. It was just so like how big was this big ass potato?
They used a crane.
Oh, so like it was like an asteroid potato.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I don't know about the pickle.
And not only that, this potato travels across the state of Idaho on a famous potato tour.
As it probably should. I love all of that. I think the pickle just drops and then they just like call it. And I don't even think it's a real pickle. My guess is it's just like, like a fake. They should bedazzle that shit though. I want like a disco pickle.
They do wrap the potato in lights so you can actually like, see
Yeah,
it
you
at
got to
night.
see the, yeah, right.
But like this did open up like a whole door of what other places drop random objects.
And behold, here we are.
But like, you know what? We should do a whole episode on that of like random objects that get dropped for the new
Dropped at
year.
midnight. And as for me, I just drop it like it's hot.
You know what? The first year we actually watched the potato drop, but I have a very funny picture of your husband.
Is he dropping it like it's hot?
No, he is spooning my dog.
Wow. I've seen that picture. I love that energy.
Yep, I've sent you that picture.
Yeah, I have seen that picture. And you know what? That fits the bill. That seems right.
Yep.
So, anyway, everybody,
That was such.
I took us on a ride there. Sorry. Oh, I will also be spending part of my weekend wrapping presents, of which I admit I am god awful at wrapping presents. They look like a 4-year-old did it, and possibly a 4-year-old would do it better. So. That's.
I don't think so. I think you'd wrap gifts just fine.
I think you're being a supportive bestie. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. Anyway, kids, we're not at our standard 13 minutes of intolerable banter, but we're at 11 and a half, so I think we'll party on. What do you think?
I think so.
All right, let's do it. So you have a fun, funky, festive one. Do you want to kick us off with that, or do you want to wrap us up with that?
I want to wrap us up.
All right. I, however, am not festive, but I do have something pretty freaking crazy. So this is from honorary cousin and listener. Not an honorary listener. This is from listener and honorary cousin, Michael. Not your husband. So, I am covering...
Not my husband.
Not your husband. Important distinction. I am covering the Max Headroom Signal hijacking. This is something I admittedly had never heard of. It does predate both of us, but I was like, figured I probably would have heard something about this. But anyway, the Max Headroom Signal hijacking. This happened the night of, November 22nd, 1987. The television signals of 2 stations in Chicago, Illinois, they were hijacked briefly, sending a pirate broadcast of an unidentified person wearing a Max Headroom mask and costume to thousands of home viewers. If you're wondering who the hell Max Headroom is, because I was, Max Headroom was a fictional character and was advertised as being the first computer-generated TV presenter, though in reality it was actually just a dude in prosthetics. And Max Headroom was known for his biting commentary on a lot of issues, his rather arrogant wit. He would like stutter and also had a weird like pitch-shifting voice. So let's talk about this shit a little bit. WGN TV. This is where the first intrusion took place. It was at 9:14 p.m. during the sports segment of WGN TV's The 9 o'clock news. Home viewers, like in the middle of this shit, the screens went blank for like 15 seconds, and then footage of a person wearing this mask with sunglasses is displayed. The individual is shown to kind of like rock like erratically in front of a rotating corrugated metal panel that kind of mimicked the real Max Headroom's, like he was known to have this strange like geometric background effect that was accompanied by like for this display it was accompanied by this weird staticky and garbled buzzing sound. And they kept calling it like an intrusion. So the entire intrusion lasted for like 20 seconds and then was cut off when the engineers at WGN changed the frequency of the signal, linking the broadcast studio to the station's transmitter, which was atop the John Hancock Center. Upon returning to the airwaves, WGN sports anchor Dan Roan commented, quote, "Well, if you're wondering what's happened, so am I." Same. Which I loved that. And joked that the computer running the news, quote, took off and went wild. He then proceeded to restart his report of the day's Chicago Bears game, which had been interrupted by the intrusion. So then we also had WTTW, which in the same night, around 11:20 p.m., The signal of local PBS station WTTW was interrupted during an airing of the Doctor Who serial Horror of Fang Rock. The culprit was the same person, wearing the same mask, but this time they were speaking with this distorted audio. Scan lines like those that you would see at the beginning of a VHS recording. Do you remember those? Like the weird sort of like, yeah.
My parents still have all of our.
Hell yeah, mine do too. Friends, if you're listening and you don't remember VHS tapes, go educate yourselves. So anyway,
You might be too young for this podcast.
Yeah, you might be too young for this podcast. Anyway, followed by the same masked figure. This time he was bobbing in front of a rotating background like before, the same mask covering his face, but unlike the earlier recording, this one had like actual voice audio. And it says, "That does it. He's a frickin' nerd." And then the figure laughs, mentions Chuck Swirsky, who was a WGN pundit, claiming to be better than him. Then he holds up a can of Pepsi while reciting the Coca-Cola slogan, "Catch the wave." And then Max Headroom was at the time being used in reality as the spokesperson for Coke. So it kind of like plays into the whole like whatever. But then it gets like kind of creepy, right? The figure flips off the camera. His middle finger is covered by what some articles said a rubber extension. Other articles said it was like a dildo.
Okay.
And he sings "Your Love is Fading" lyrics to "I Know I'm Losing You" by The Temptations. He hums it like kind of tunelessly, mutters phrases from like several television shows, screams a bunch of nonsense, and then he starts to moan. And after a moment, he pauses to claim that he had, quote, "made a giant masterpiece for all the greatest world newspaper nerds," referencing WGN's acronym and the corporate parent, the Chicago Tribune. And then he holds up a glove, like the one that was popularized by like Michael Jackson, and exclaimed, quote, "My brother is wearing the other one." Then pulls it on saying, "But it's dirty. It's like you got blood stains on it." Then the camera cuts to a shot of a man's torso and partially exposed like ass. And the Max Headroom mask has now been removed and was being held up to the camera. And the rubber, what they're referring to as extension, but as we've covered was a dildo, was then stuffed inside the mouth of the mask. And then the man screams off camera, "They're coming to get me." And then a female voice responds saying, "Bend over, bitch." And then the man was spanked. And then the man was spanked repeatedly with a fly swatter, and he screams. Now everybody, of course, I know. Everybody, this is why I said it gets like creepy and weird. So like everybody, of course, like behind the scenes was like, "What the hell?" They're like scrambling. Technicians at WTTW studios could not counteract the signal takeover because there was no engineers on duty at that hour at the Sears Tower, where the station's broadcast tower was located. And then according to the station spokesman, Anders Jokum, technicians monitoring the transmission from WTTW headquarters, quote, "attempted to take corrective measures, but couldn't." Air director Paul Rizzo recalled that, quote, "as the content got weirder, we got increasingly stressed out by our inability to do anything about it."
Yeah, I imagine.
Like, same.
Gosh, the panic that must have been in that room.
My stomach,
I kind of
would have dropped.
Paid to watch it.
Yeah, big time. The pirate broadcast ended when the hijackers unilaterally ended their transmission. And by the time our people began looking into what was going on, it was over, said Yoakum. WTTW received numerous phone calls from viewers who wondered what the hell had occurred. So here's the question I think that we're wondering, which is, how'd they pull it off? What does the science behind this look like a little bit at that time? So the broadcast intrusion was achieved by sending a more powerful microwave transmission to the station's broadcast towers than the towers that were sending out themselves. So this triggered what's called a capture effect. This was a difficult task in 1987, but was possible before American television stations switched from analog to digital signals in 2009. So experts have said that the stunt required basically very extensive technical expertise and a significant amount of transmitting power. And they felt that the pirate broadcast likely originated from somewhere in the line of sight of both stations' broadcast towers, which were atop two very well-known tall buildings in downtown Chicago. Eventually, the FCC worked out exactly how the hacker had done it. They placed their own dish antenna between the transmitter towers, and the hijacker could have effectively interrupted the original signal. They wouldn't have needed really that expensive of equipment to do it. They really just needed really good timing and positioning. And they were also able to pinpoint a location where the video might have been shot based on the background of the videos. And agents from the FCC determined that it was most likely the roll down door of a warehouse and tracked it to a district that had warehouses with doors like it. Now, nobody has ever claimed responsibility for the stunt after all these years. Speculation about the identities of Max and his co-conspirators it's centered on the theories that the prank was either an inside job by like a disgruntled employee or maybe former employee of WGN, or was carried out by members of Chicago's underground hacker community. Which, what? I didn't know that was a thing. However, despite like an official law enforcement investigation into the immediate like aftermath of the incident, and a lot of unofficial investigations, inquiries, online speculation that has gone on for like decades, the identities and motives of the hijackers remain a complete mystery. But over the years, a few names have like appeared time and time again in like forums, Reddit, all of the credible places. So, I'm joking. Anyway, among the most popular contenders is Eric Fournier, who was the creator of Shay St. John, a fictional model who was disfigured in a car accident and recreated her body from mannequin parts. Fans of this character point to artistic similarities between his bizarre, campy videos and the hackers' like surreal, disconcerting footage, notably the use of masks and unconvincing prosthetics. Those who knew Fournier best, however, say that the link is like tenuous at best. He had bandmates, and they're sure that he had little to no experience with broadcast communications. They don't think he was in Chicago at the time of the hack. They do, however, acknowledge that he would have been amused to be the subject of these rumors. He died in 2010 from internal bleeding, which was the result of a long battle with alcoholism. So the gossip cannot be confirmed or denied.
Yeah.
There's also, I want to note, too, that after the intrusion, an FCC official was quoted in news reporting that the perpetrators faced a maximum fine of $100,000 and up to a year in prison for this. However, the 5-year statute of limitations surpassed in 1992, so even if the persons responsible for the intrusion were to step forward, they wouldn't face criminal punishment should their identities be revealed. Now, what's kind of the legacy around this type of thing is it's not actually the first hack of its kind, and it wasn't the last either. So I have a few examples real quick throughout time. A notable forerunner was Captain Midnight, which was the first hacker to interrupt a broadcast signal with his own personal message. He was mad at HBO because they'd raised their prices. So April 27th, 1986, he interrupted that night's showing of The Falcon and the Snowman to enter his own, to broadcast his own message. And the Captain Midnight hacker managed to broadcast his colorful message for nearly 5 minutes before HBO regained control.
Could you imagine being so bothered by raising prices
to
go to such lengths?
I could, because I'm petty like that, and I love it. This guy, love him, worship him, fantastic.
Yeah.
So basically, in this case, would have been a minor annoyance to viewers, posed actually, at the time, a very major problem for the U.S. government, who were wary of the military implications of an amateur satellite hacking. So a hack aimed at the Navy of the spy satellites that monitored the Soviet Union could prevent the transmission of vital information and compromise state secrets. So the FCC began to investigate immediately. It was inundated with 200, quote, confessions from eager hacking enthusiasts hoping to take credit for this work. And unfortunately for the real hacker, only a specific set of antenna would be powerful enough to have outmuscled HBO, and the graphics model responsible for rendering the typeface used in his broadcast was rare. The authorities found John R. McDougal, formerly an operations engineer at the Central Florida Teleport Uplink Station, to be guilty of this. Since hacking at that time was, a relatively new crime, his punishment was pretty minimal. He paid a $5,000 fine and was put on probation and had his amateur radio license suspended for a year. If you're curious as to what the message was that he broadcasted, it says, "Good evening, HBO, from Captain Midnight. $12.95 per month, question mark? No way." First of all,
oh my god,
and then it says at the bottom, Showtime movie channel, beware. $12.95 a month, I would kill, first of all.
I would kill.
I would kill. But anyway, what he did, this guy had basically unsettled more than a few people. And so by the time of the Max Headroom hack, less than 2 years later, satellite hijacking was a felony and the stakes were like much higher. So today, signal intrusions are more difficult to pull off, but they are occasionally successfully attempted. In 2007, New Jersey viewers represent,
whoop, whoop.
We love it, of the, quote, Handy Manny cartoon on Playhouse Disney suddenly found themselves watching porn.
Oh my god.
And in 2009, a disgruntled Comcast employee managed to interrupt the Super Bowl for Tucson viewers with 37 seconds of porn. Why we're going straight to porn, I don't know, but here we are. The consequences remain severe, and the hackers are usually caught. But the Max Headroom hack remains basically the gold standard. Its content was absolutely bizarre. It was spooky. Its motives were mysterious, and the perpetrator was never caught. And that's what I have. That's the signal.
That's very interesting.
I had no idea that this had occurred. I mean, I didn't exist yet, but like I had no idea that this was like a piece of television history.
Yeah.
And actually,
very bizarre.
What I meant to do was ask my dad about it because my dad worked in television for a very long time.
Please ask him so we can I need an update.
I think I'll ask him and you know, does he recall this? I don't think they lived in Chicago at this. No, they didn't live in Chicago at this point. At this point, they were in New Jersey, but we had family in Chicago, so would be curious to know if he'd heard anything about it. But yeah.
But I had family in Chicago during that time. I've got I don't know if she'll know now.
Okay.
Hashtag dementia. But
yeah, I know that all too well. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to talk to him. If you want to try talking to her, you certainly can. But
it's funny what memories can bring up, though.
That's true. And this was a blast to research, and it was a lot of fun to read the science behind it too, because I don't know much about that type of thing. So
yeah,
consider us educated.
Wow, that good topic. Thank you.
Good
listener,
topic. Thank you, listener Michael.
Jeez.
I know. I have to admit, if I was a viewer and I saw that come on and like watch that whole thing, I think I would feel kind of like weird, like unnerved.
Who do I talk to after that?
Yeah, like I would be like, well, what do I do? What do I do with this?
And also, it's like the train wreck that you can't stop watching.
Oh my god, I know. And I for sure, like you, would have paid to see like all of like the technicians,
the people just
behind
panicking.
the scene, just losing it. You know what I picture it to be like? Do you remember the SpongeBob episode where he dumps everything from his mind and then somebody asks him to recall his name and it shows his mind and like everything's on fire and there's a million SpongeBobs running around? Yeah. That's exactly what I picture it to be like.
Remind me again, what year this happened?
The Max Headroom one was in 1987.
I believe it was the same year. There was a congressman, some political official. He was caught taking bribes.
Oh.
And this, I'm going to put a trigger warning on this fact.
Okay.
Because it does, I'm about to talk about suicide.
Oh, okay. Triggered. Trigger warning.
And I believe it was in the late 1980s. He was caught taking bribes, and he was about to be convicted. He was about to go to court and be charged. There was a press conference he held. He handed off letters. This was in Pennsylvania. At the Capitol in Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. He handed out letters. He said a few words, and then he brought out a gun and ended his life on live TV.
So not a hacking, but still something like the 80s were a time.
Yeah, the 80s were a time. And after that, I think that's when like kill switches became a thing very quickly of like
Probably.
being able to cut TV
Like,
very
yeah.
quickly.
Yeah.
So just what a wild time for TV. That's all I'm saying, period, on this.
Listen,
Like,
the 80s, like, I don't even know how to sum up the 80s other than what the fuck.
genuinely though,
Like, everybody was on, like, cocaine. And, like, I just...
everyone likes to go, what the F with the 60s, what the F with the 70s, but really what the F with the 80s.
But
I need to know what the F with the 80s.
And do I also wish that I was alive during the 80s? Sometimes.
100%.
Like, I gotta be honest. I want that hair. I want that makeup.
The
I
hair.
want that fashion. And I want that music. Win, win, win.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, like, what a time.
And now I don't even know how to segue into my topic.
You know, we don't even need the segue. Let's just... Because, like, I mean, I felt like... I researched all of that. And then afterwards, I felt like I'm a little, like, fucked up after this. So let's just, like, jump right into yours.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, I know.
Well, so remember how you're like, you picked something festive. You think I did.
Well, it's spooky, but it's, yeah.
It's a spooky festive.
Spooky
because
festive. That's what we do.
We're oddities.
Yeah.
So, like, I
No-
don't know how to do anything else.
None of that Rudolph shit.
None of that red nose bullshit. Anyways,
None of that.
So, I wanted to pick something. I was determined to find something in Iceland.
Pour moi. Thank you.
For my best day.
Thank you.
My
I missed it
Christmas
already.
best day.
Thank you.
And I found the Gryla.
I love this because we got to hear like the tiniest bit about this on our trip, but I want to hear the deets.
And I was curious if you did hear anything about this on your trip.
They mentioned,
to be
yeah.
honest with you. Because she seems like a pretty big figure.
Oh yeah,
I'm not gonna
like
lie.
I think
like
she's like,
figuratively and literally. So
listen, we love a big lady. It just, you know, we love a presence. Let's have it.
So Gryla in Norse mythology is a mountain ogre
Same.
with ill intent towards humans.
Same.
I can't relate more. I'm just saying.
I feel this in my bones.
Yeah. And her name in Icelandic means growler.
Hell yeah.
I love this.
I love
like
it.
I just
listen.
my
Iceland
love
is
for
a
her
wild
grows
place.
more and more.
Yes.
And my love, like, the more I read this, I was like, I totally understand Cassie's love for Iceland.
Yes.
Just
My heart is many, many miles away, and it's in Iceland.
yeah. The first recorded reference to her came in the 13th century.
Oh,
in
she's an old
the Iceland
figure.
book Pors Edda, which point she was not yet associated with Christmas at this point.
Okay.
In many parts of the world, mountain creatures, both real and fiction, have been taught to possess special powers.
Nice. Why
Right?
not?
So, and like can withstand high cold weathers because like mountains,
Right.
and brutal high winds and altitude and all that stuff. So
Iceland, baby.
Iceland, which makes sense. Anyways, at a later point, she was also referred to as a witch.
Cool. A mountain ogre
So, we
witch.
love this.
Love that. We love a mashup.
Mighty mountain witches who lived secluded from other beings are common legends in many parts of the world. So,
Can I be a mighty mountain
She's a
witch?
legend.
Yeah, like I'd be down to live
I
secluded.
love that sentence. Mighty mountain witch.
Yeah, who love to be
Just-
secluded from other beings. Like
Yeah.
I feel seen.
I feel very connected.
Yes.
So, according to the tales, she comes down from the mountains to steal naughty children,
Ooh.
much like Krampus.
Oh,
She often will carry a basket on her back, which will help collect the children.
okay.
Instead of delivering, like a lot of people say, she delivers them to the netherworld.
Sure.
But instead, she boils the children alive, which she then consumes them. Like
Oh
stew.
shit. I think I'd rather go to the netherworld.
Right? She's said to be constantly hungry.
Same.
She says it's said that her ability is to detect bad deeds of children. It's said that her
Oh.
superpower is just to detect bad children.
You know what? Somebody needs to do it.
Yep. It's not just children she eats. Gryla is said to be on her third husband, having killed the first two, who she is then eaten.
I'm thrilled and can
Yep.
understand.
Like, again, relating.
I mean, okay. Oh my God, I love it so much.
Gryla, her current husband, Lepool, is a troll who is also fond of eating children as well.
Oh, well, a
I
match
guess they
made in
found
heaven.
that common ground. Yeah.
Right. Like, do you think they do like Lady and the Tramp, where like it's the spaghetti, but it's actually just a child? Is it?
They meet in the middle.
Yeah, they just meet in the middle. I'm sorry, that was dark.
Was it?
I mean, yeah. Not for this audience.
They're also fond of eating other mythical creatures.
Oh.
In many traditions, this couple are considered giants. Giant trolls, I guess.
Oh, like big ass trolls? Okay.
Yeah. Which makes them more terrifying.
I wonder, what is the difference between an ogre and a troll?
I don't know. They look like they are troll dolls that have been left in the microwave, I'll be honest with you.
Me too, this morning.
Fun fact, it seems that Gryla and her husband are the parents of the 13 lads of Iceland.
Get it. Love it.
Love it.
The 13 Yule lads.
And their pet is the Christmas cat of Iceland.
Love that. Love that.
Which we've talked about. The pair have an evil Christmas pet that haunts the village as well. The Yule cat.
Listen, it's a family business. We love it.
It really is. I love that this is all connected.
This is giving like mafia vibes, you know?
Okay, that was my next note.
Oh, love that. We went in the same direction. Good.
Because to me, it feels very mafia-like.
Yeah.
So, apparently, this is... There are several articles I read. One, this very dark one. Then there's another one that's a little bit light, where she will, yes, steal you, or she'll leave you a rotten potato.
I mean, I do like that version. Like...
I'm like, I don't want coal, but I'll take a rotten potato.
Take a rotten potato.
It's not that bad. At one point, I decided just to write out who is the Gryla.
Who indeed?
What I got was an ogress with an appetite for the flesh of mischievous children, whom she cooks in a large pot.
An ogress. I love that.
And I'm like, I just relate to this woman so much.
I feel this. It's the killing the two previous husbands and eating them for me.
She is mostly known nowadays as the mother of 13 Yuletide lads. The lady has a dark past of eating children, kids, and other mythical creatures. I don't know what other mythical creatures Iceland has that she's eating, because the other mythical creature is her cat, and she's obviously not eating that.
I hope not. Yeah, I don't know. Iceland has like some wild shit. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Are her and her cat like just responsible for protecting Iceland from those wild shit?
I mean, maybe. I can't think of anybody better.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain she was created to keep kids
in line
out of naughty shit.
You know, it can't hurt. A lot of cultures have, and if you guys are curious, I believe the first year this podcast was out, we covered a lot of different figures throughout different cultures, and there are similarities, and I think that's probably the theme.
She eventually became associated with Christmas in the 17th and 19th centuries, a time when Christmas holiday was gaining popularity around the world.
Okay.
In Iceland, this period was the time of the Danish-Norwegian rule.
Okay.
When the country was a part of the United Scandinavian Kingdom.
Oh.
These areas included Norway, Denmark, Iceland, Greenland, and parts of Germany. Before that time, she was associated with Yuletide, winter, and uncertainty that the cold and dark would bring. And not specifically with Christmas, actually.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. So it was like, I think, other cultures. And then the Yule lads, her children,
yes,
are said to be pranksters.
Yeah, that's my understanding. They're
Yeah.
like relatively harmless, but they just like walk around and like fuck shit up. Then they all have like different, like one like steals spoons, I'm pretty sure.
Which is hilarious when you think about it, given that she eats children
I know, and then
that
they're walking around
misbehave.
acting a bunch of
So
assholes. Yeah.
it makes me wonder, is it because she won't eat her own children that she just fucks up other kids?
Got to get our frustrations out some way.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm not going to eat my own kids, but I'll eat your kids.
But I'll eat your fucking kids. That's right. Try me.
I like that she has similarities with Krampus. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, we love a mashup.
Like, I like it. It works.
Yeah.
I kind of, if you want to know why we keep saying mashup, join our Patreon.
That's right. Join the Patreon, and you'll
Join the
learn
Patreon
more
for a good mashup.
for some mashing times instead of smashing.
Mash.
See what I did? Yep.
For real, I can't get over these photos though.
I'm
They
gonna look
look
her
like
up.
they just got They look like they got melted in a microwave.
Who's her husband? Poo Poo.
Le Pollo.
Okay.
Leppal, and then some characters that are non-existent on our keyboards.
Oh Lord. Okay, let's see.
But if you search her, her husband's gonna come up.
I'm gonna look him up. Oh.
While folklore around her has
Lepalzi.
evolved.
Oh, they do look like melted trolls. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. While folklore around her has evolved over the centuries, today she is appreciated in a similar way to Krampus. In many Icelandic towns, Gryla and her husband are depicted using giant puppets or statues. Their massive faces disfigured with warts and wrinkles, and their presence are not restricted to only wintertime. So they're, I think, celebrated year-round.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. Which I think, in my understanding, is Iceland just really embraces all of their neat folklore.
Oh yeah, Iceland is like
you would be more.
they're just like a super proud country of
Yeah,
all
right?
of the things. So yeah,
I love that. I really love
me
that.
too. And everybody's
So.
super knowledgeable about the shit too, which is great.
I love that. I love that they embrace everything.
Yeah, and they love like goofy shit like this.
So, that's really cool to me.
I love it.
Like,
I love it.
yeah.
Oh, that was
So
great.
that is the Gryla. Although starting off terrifying, she's loved.
I
So,
love this bitch.
with her husband and her cat and her 13 prankster sons.
What a fam.
Yeah.
It is
The
giving
little mafia family.
Yeah, it is giving mafia, and I'm here for it. Icelandic mafia energy. You know?
Yeah.
Sure.
Icelandic mafia energy. God, I love that.
Love that. This was a hell of an episode. Well done.
It was.
That was fun. This whole episode was fun. This was crazy times.
Merry friggin' Christmas.
Merry friggin' Christmas, kids. And thank you. Our listeners are the greatest gift to us. We
They
love you. And I don't even know what to say. Until next time.
stay strange.